Morning, noon, and night. And welcome back to the 10th Generation People's Talk Show. Christian part of the show. And I'm saying it's Christian, so if you don't do this and this ain't your thing, I don't want to upset you. Okay? This right here is one of the most infamous subjects of this show. And like I said, I have a longer version, but I've shortened it all the way down to just a couple of minutes. If you want me to speak on a longer one, I know about the views. But this one is about abortions and what abortions really is and what abortions are to God. Okay? Dealing with abortions in my own life, I always protested against it, but being with somebody who had an abortion and I protested against it, I noticed a phrase that a lot of people say, even talking to other people that have abortions. See, abortions is a lot of things to God. God is far, far against abortions, and it's almost to the point that it's critical against it. Okay? See, abortions is not really what people think it is. It's a sign of what God has said. Before he let the devil get more souls than him, he's going to turn rocks into souls. Well, from ashes to ashes and dust to dust in which we came, we will return. So what does that mean? God made us of clay. That's what God said he did. So those little fetuses that people have in their stomachs and they're rushing them down to those butcher shops, I call them, those are our replacements. See, God is now turning abortions into souls. They still become souls. They are of souls. They are made of souls. So they return as a soul. They return into the place of the person that aborted them. This is a very bad situation to be in. And the best way to stay out of this is to stay out of it altogether. You don't want to be in this situation. Okay? See, the first part about abortions is it's a sacrifice. By interviewing a lot of people, especially people that was in my life at one time, they wanted abortions, all they talked about was their life. I don't want to have this child because of my life. Well, think about what you just said. You're sacrificing somebody else's life for you to be able to obtain the life that you want. You just made a sacrifice to bond to Satan. You just made an agreement with God. For my life, I give you this life, is what you say. That's what it said to God. You're saying it directly to him. What did you actually give up to gain your life? Far be it a man to gain the world and to lose his soul. So you sacrificed this life for your life. But this is the present tense. What about the future tense? And what's going to happen? You should have just stayed out of it anyway. There's the peel. There's the patch. They got this little thing now that I found they got to go on the arm. It is so many ways to stay out of this stuff where you won't make God eternally angry with you. I know how it is to be in a bad situation. A lot of us don't want to be in those situations. But a lot of us have control of their situation. Those who have control of their situation will be judged on their situation. Stay out of it. Parents need to talk to your children. And if you feel that your child may be sexually active, you may need to, take the extra steps to make sure your child don't get into a problem where your child is having a child. Because God is not going to play. He already said what he's going to do. Before he let the devil get more souls, which is real bad for us. And like I said, bringing this addition to you of the 10th generation of people talks, bringing abortions to this show, I've investigated and found out the world has had billions of abortions. In America, I think it was like over to something about 160 million. Then I read another place that said 100 million. So it's banking between 100 million and 100 million and 160 million abortions. And And might I add, I even found the place where it says 60 million. So it's like bouncing between. So I'll just say, just to be on the safe side, somewhere between 60 million and 160 million abortions in America alone. There's 300 million people here. That's that's more abortion than it would be half the people here in America. As you can see, God ain't playing. He's not playing at all. Look at the figures. 300 million people here. 160 million abortions here. Before God let the Satan gets more souls than him, Satan and God would have 150 million each. There's 160 million abortions. But may I add, there's just one thing. Like I said, they're giving all sorts of figures, but it's a lot. I drove down to these abortion centers and I watched people go in there. It's a lot of people going into them abortion centers. They have no, they have no dry spells there. So it could be either or. But still, if you look at these figures, those are eerie figures. Those are figures of God's sign. So now you've already sacrificed somebody's life for yours. You didn't even did even something even more. You made God jealous. Because see, God said don't do that. Man went and wrote a law and said do that. So what you did, you chose man over God. You see how bad this situation keep getting? Now God is sitting there jealous. Oh, you're not going to listen to him. You're going to listen to somebody else. Revenge is mine, saith the Lord alone. Revenge is a future tense. Meaning it's going to happen later. See, that life that you sacrifice everybody else's life over for, it's going to end. So pretty much you sacrificed them for nothing. You sacrificed another life for nothing. Because the life you sacrificed them for was your life, and now your life is ending. Where do you see yourself in 50 years? You always got to ask yourself that. Where do you see yourself in 50 years? Whenever you make a decision to do anything to anybody, ask yourself one thing. Where do I see myself in 50 years? You're going to be in God's loop of revenge. You're going to slowly age. You're going to slowly be sick more and more. You're going to be living on pills. The medicine that you have in your hand will be what's keeping you alive. You could be doing everything you possibly can to keep yourself alive. What's the price you pay? Everybody's life is pretty much like that. They didn't even do anything. But we were born in sin, so we're going to get God's revenge. But when we end, will God's revenge continue? Or will he say it is done? Now you see what evil is. Not to mention those who have abortions. You're gonna come face to face with God just like everybody else. And the question he's gonna ask you is, why did you treat that baby that way? What you gonna tell him? Because the man told me that I could do it. If you're a Christian, you know that's the wrong thing to say because you just brought God to jealousy because you just did what somebody else told you can do, and he told you not to do it. You can't serve two gods. So before you start serving man and doing what man say you can do, you better think of something. And that something is heaven. And that someone is God. You know, sir, God don't want me to do him that way. I better not. But that man said that you can do whatever you want to do. That man said you can take everything that other person have. God said, no, you can't. What you gonna tell him? Well, God just have to forgive me because I'm gonna take it all. God put that man in that person, that man or that woman in that situation just for you to make that decision. See, a lot of times people are put in situations by God, not for that person that is in the situation, but it's the person that has the power to forgive or not forgive. to take or not to take. And sometimes, most of the time I see here in America, you let a man tell you can take something, you will. I watch him do it, especially down at courts. Sometimes they just sit there on that podium, that man and that woman with all that power, with the thunder coming out their pen. You better take another look at that judge. And you better stare at that judge and say, you know something? You just gave me the ability to take everything from this person. But you know something, I'm not going to do it. Because God said don't do it. That judge looks at you. I don't see why not. The law tell you can't. No, it don't. Because man don't make laws. A law is something that can't be broken. See, here in America alone, they pass laws. They call them laws, but they're not laws. Because the minute they pass the law, they're supposed to be a law. The government write exemptions to the law for themselves. So you just didn't make a law. You just made a rule. That was it. By the force of the many. You just used the police force and the military to enforce a law. Well, let's say this: you use them to enforce a rule and try to call it a law, but it's not. It's not a law; it's a rule. Rules can be broken; laws can't. And you standing there, and then maybe a judge is giving you power to take somebody's house. You better look a little closer. Matter of fact, look behind that judge. God has sat there and gave it and say, "Okay, you can do it," because that judge has gained the world. But can that judge keep it? That's the thing. Can that judge keep it? And you may gain that house, but can you keep that house too? Because where you see yourself in 50 years? If that house is taken care of, that house will be right there in 50 years. No matter how well they take care of you, you won't be there in 50 years. Or you'll be too old to do anything, too decrepit. See, God has given mankind to do as they shall. You either choose me or you choose death. It's just like Jesus Christ. You choose the murderer or do you choose Jesus? Mankind choose the murderer. The murderer represented what mankind wanted to do. Jesus represented God's law. They didn't want to do God's law. God been wreaking revenge on people ever since. So before you put your life before somebody else, you better think it through. Before you try to crush somebody with the weapon known as the law, because that's all our laws really are. They're just weapons. And a weapon in a bad man's hand is a bad law. That's just all it is to it. So if you go out with a mate and get pregnant, and you start thinking, well, I'm gonna go to this abortion clinic because this abortion clinic said I can do this. You better think about God. Because God put that baby right there in your belly when you made that mistake of not using a condom, or not using a pill, or not using a patch, or not using the Medea. You could have went and got the morning after pill. This is sickness they got there now. When he sat there and he watched you make that mistake. He put that baby there knowing that you didn't want that baby there. And he stood right there. And God said, I want you to have that child. And you looked over there, man. Get rid of the child and go on with your life. You remember that abortion clinic. It's a sacrificial temple. A sacrificial temple. A sacrificial temple. That's what it is. And with sacrifice, it means I'm going to give you this if you give me that in return. It's like money, the root of all evil. Without money, without that stamp in your hand, you get nothing. So you remember that. When you walk down there with some stamps and you give them stamps and say, I want you to get rid of this baby for me. I want you to sacrifice this child for my life. Because I want to do what I want to do in my life, and this child will be in my way in my life. God will be standing right there. Oh, so you're going to listen to that man over me. See, now you done killed somebody, and you done brought God to jealousy, which that jealousy, that anger. See, I'm so afraid of God. His anger is profound to me. He got angry at Adam and Eve, and look at what we all keep going through. It's like sometimes I say, I've had enough. I tap. Woo-hoo, I tap out. My Lord, please, I had enough. And yet I'm still here with everybody else. When I look over there in the Middle East and I see all those wars. When I look here in America and I see all these wars. And then I look at places like Canada and I'm like, can you at least take me to Canada where I can at least have a peace of mind? No, I'm still right here. Can you take me to Sweden where they all sweet? No, I'm still right here. If you don't come up with the payment in America, they're going to throw you out. I like to go to France, but they won't just throw me out. I like to go to Canada. If I don't feel good, I just go into the hospital and not when you walk in the hospital, I have to give them payment. And then when they take that payment, they say, and I said, you got an insurance, so we can take another payment. They take that payment. And then when I walk out there, they give me my ibuprofen and I walk out and I get home in a couple of days, maybe a week, I get a bill, another payment. I just want out. God's revenge is profound. If that does not frighten you against God, I don't know what will. To choose someone else over him? Oh, wow. Well, you want man? So you know when Jesus was there, the murderer and Jesus, when you chose the murderer, okay, God said, I'm going to give you, you know something? I'm going to give you the man. And he gave us the man. And the man came with a payment with everything we do. When I was on my way back here, I was listening on the radio about these people that was doing Christian work and they went over these other countries. They were sleeping on the ground. And these people were farming food, but they couldn't eat that food. True, right now in this world right now, they just want out. They have to go out there and farm wheat, corn, beans. And someone standing over there with a gun on earth this day. And they are farming these foods and they can't eat. And all you have to have is a child. And you cutting up. You don't know what God's revenge is. It is profound. Best to do what God say. That's my opinion. But like I said, you in America. The man said you can do it. But you just chose someone over God. You just appointed a God over God. That's what you just did. God said have no other gods before him. And if you have no other gods before him, you will do what he say do. And this profoundness, when it ends, it's going to end for good for us. It's going to end with these bodies stopping. But at least it's going to end. And for those who wouldn't do what God say do, chose a man over God, it'll never end. Because God will give you all the man you ever wanted. Look at our government, $20 trillion in debt. And they always talk about it's capitalism, a failed system. It's a failure. America's a capitalistic failure. It's no coming back from $20 trillion. No one can do that. That's who you trust. Then trust him. But if you trust God, you want to abort that child. Matter of fact, if you trust God, you will look around with all the ways he have to keep you out of it in the first place. You just take one of the things to keep you out of it. You can use a condom. If the woman paid 50 cents and the man paid 50 cents, we both equal. You just bought you a condom for $1. The morning after pill. The last time I seen the morning after pill was $50. $25 for that. $25 from the other one. If you are a woman and you go get the morning after, you tell him go get the morning after, it's $50. He say, I ain't finna pay for no sex. Well, you ain't finna get no sex is what you should say. The best way to stay out this situation is to avoid this situation. You know what you want. You know what you want to do. Then you prepare for it. You ain't ready for a child. And you don't want to sacrifice a child. You don't want to get into it with God. You know that from the beginning. Your sex is bad, yeah or no. You don't know. We really don't know. It's a natural instinct. You can't really say it's bad, but at least it's not. If any kind of way it goes, it's not killing someone. It's not sacrificing someone, and it's something that's easy forgivable. As long as you ain't messing with somebody else's wife or husband. Because remember, God the Son, Jesus, let the prostitute go. Because the prostitute didn't kill anybody. And it didn't hurt anybody either. So you think about it before you do it. Before you have sex, you make preparations first. If that's what you want to do. If you are a child, you go tell your parents, this is what I'm doing. If your parents and you suspect your child of having sex, you should take the precaution before this trouble come up. Because if your child get pregnant or get someone pregnant, and you proclaim you want them to have an abortion to get them out of it, you just caused that sin. That blood is on your hands now. So avoid the situation altogether and try to prepare for it before it happens. But if it do happen, it's your choice. You either want to do what God say do, or man say you can do. God said don't do it. It's a gift from me. And you go to that man and you sacrifice. Not to mention abortions cost money. So you're paying for the evil in the first place. And eventually, what you sacrifice that child over, your life, is going to come to an end. And you're going to stand before God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost, the entire council, and they're going to ask you one question. Why did you kill that child? I'm going to leave you right there at that question. This is 10th generation of people. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you the path that are there in front of you that you can take either or. There's so many paths there. I say avoid the situation altogether. My advice say if you do wind up like that, well, it happened now. Don't sacrifice somebody over your life, because a sacrifice has to be paid. And you sacrifice somebody's life for your life, that means you're going to pay with your life in the end. This is 10 generation of people. May God bless all. And I'll see you when I get back